Very often listen to the phrases like, if not him, someone else will. Is it very easy to replace people despite the hurt? Is that a good decision to walk away, or are you supposed to stay and fix things?
Who are so afraid of relationships because their parents had a bad relationship. You're not finding a connection. It's like a product you're buying. Is there a written policy to this?
Don't text him too much, don't give him too much attention. You know, he will lose interest.
Relationship is one thing that AI can never replace, be it with your parents, partner, with yourself. I'm a counseling psychologist, and most of our cases, it might start off with work, stress, anxiety, overthinking, but it all boils down to your relationships. That's why we decided to create this podcast series on relationships. There are so many questions that you all have asked us, and we have concised them together as 10 episodes just for you. So stay along, enjoy the first podcast wherein we are busting different myths with respect to relationship, things that your parents, your friends often tell you, and many of this could come as a shock and a surprise for you. Hi Tanishka, hi Pratana.
Hello.
So the intention of this podcast is just a conversation about relationships. So whatever doubts that you guys have or you have heard your friends talk about, this is the forum to do so. Alright? So yeah.
So, as we see in movies that jealousy is romanticized as intensity and as true love. So, what do you think? Is jealousy is a form of true love?
Absolutely not. Because you know where jealousy comes from by any chance?
Insecurities, fear.
So insecurity, fear, validation, so all of these things comes from place of anxiousness. So there are 4 kinds of attachment, right? So I'll explain this attachment in a very simple way, right? So the first one is the anxious attachment style. So in this, it's more like a grapevine, okay? So you are like a grapevine needs support, right? So in this situation, you don't trust yourself, you trust the other person more. So next comes the avoidant attachment style. So over here, they only trust themselves and they don't trust other people at all. So it's more like a succulent. So have you grown succulents? You've grown, right? So it's so confusing whether they need more sunlight or they need more water or anything like that. So that's what is avoidant attachment. Then comes your mixture, anxious and avoidant attachment style. So it's more like touch me not. They don't trust themselves also, they don't trust others also. And then last one is a secure attachment. It's more like this bamboo, wherein they trust themselves and they trust others and they grow in all directions. So now when we talk about the jealous one, so often people think that, okay, jealousy is love. It's like they're showing concern for me and everything. It's mostly anxious attachment style. They don't trust this particular relationship and they're constantly wanting some sort of validation that, okay, this person is, still mine. I'll check their phone. It's more of control. It's more of building fear. So initially it might sound cute and everything, but eventually if a person is very, very jealous, then in the future the relationship would be mostly controlling, fear oriented. So if you look at Kabir Singh also, it's like that, right? So she liked his, it's protecting me and everything, but then end of the day it's about control. True. So it's not really a sign of love. It's just and their anxiousness being projected on somebody else.
How do we know what is healthy jealousy and what is not? Because it can get confusing sometimes. So how do you decide ki, okay, this jealousy is not, it's not toxic, it's not unhealthy and it's fine?
Jealousy in itself is not healthy.
No amount of jealousy.
No.
Oh, okay.
So see, basically, what is jealousy? It's like you're checking somebody's phone. Why? Because you don't trust them.
Maybe, yes.
Right? Or if at all, they're flirting with somebody else. You feel like, oh, they're flirting with them. So does that mean that they like that person more? So it's again, it's your anxiousness, your fear that, okay, this person is not going to be there. That itself is jealousy. And that itself is not healthy.
Oh, so no amount of jealousy is healthy.
What is the healthy jealousy according to you?
I mean, when you अभी ऐसा होता है ना sometimes कि when we see our partner hang out with other people, you feel jealous कि okay, maybe I should have been there too, or and then you feel that jealousy. So is that not healthy?
Is it jealousy or you missing out of something? Like, oh, I wish I was there with you and hung out with all of them. That's a different thing. Like you miss that moment. But if you feel like, oh, why didn't you call me? You should have called me. I have to be there wherever you are. That is not healthy.
Okay, fair. Another myth that I have heard is that you can't move on without closure. So is it true that we can't move on without closure, or is it necessary कि हमेशा we have to get closure so we can move on from people or situations?
See, closure is a concept that a person has invented after they have moved on. So I'll explain that part of it. So whenever you have broken up, there is a lot of grief, there is a lot of questions that you have, ki, okay, why did this relationship end and all of those things, and you expect the person to come and give you that answer. But in most of the cases, that person is not there, right? So many of the people, they either accept it that, okay, this breakup has happened in my life and this person is not going to be there, they accept it and they actually do much better as compared to somebody who's constantly seeking answers. Ki, why did the person leave? I wish I would go and speak to that person and resolve this particular thing, because end of the day, even if you do it, breakup doesn't happen because of one instant. It would have been like a couple of instances would have happened in that couple's life, and maybe it would have gotten unaddressed, or even if the person brought it up, it was brushed under the carpet, and after it hits the tipping point is when somebody breaks up. So if at all the person would want to come and speak to you, they would have already done it before the breakup, right? So now going and seeking that answer is just hurting you more, and often this closure is when you have moved on, and whatever explanation you want to give about that particular breakup, you tell that explanation and you call that as a closure and you move on.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So that is a concept that has been created post a person has moved on from a breakup. If you think about it.
So there is this movie called Jalebi.
Ha.
Yeah. In which in the beginning it was portrayed as, oh, she has not moved on and all of that. But the moment she got closure that she was valued, she was not cheated on, she moved on.
Yes, so validation, of course, when you get to that kind of a thing that, okay, you are not at fault, you kind of ease that guilt and you're fine about it. But most of the time, such kind of closures don't come your way. Right? At times, if you're in a very friendly relationship with your ex after the breakup, after a couple of years, maybe you can talk about it and then the final conclusion is achieved. But for that, in the beginning itself, we can't seek that closure. We can seek that closure after some time. Because otherwise we'll only think about getting back together with them. We are not in that mindset ki, okay, this relationship is over and it was not my fault and I can move ahead.
Yeah, and most of the time closure is excuse to get back together.
Correct.
To have that conversation and get back with your ex.
Yeah, try to convince them also. But no matter how much you convince, if at all it didn't work back then, how much longer are you going to stretch it?
So there is this myth as well that if a relationship is struggling or if, let's say, the partner is possessive or whatsoever, we end up hearing these things that, oh, if you get married to that person, if you stay with that person all the time, maybe all of the struggles that you're going through in your relationship will end, and if at all you have baby, then maybe your relationship will grow better. So do you think taking next step in a relationship like marriage or baby helps the struggling relationship to get better?
Absolutely not. It's like, you ask a kid who's in 3rd grade, I know 3rd grade is very difficult for you. Take an even more difficult, like 5th grade, you'll be fine. How is it going to be fine? They're already drowning with 3rd grade syllabus. How are they going to do 5th grade syllabus? It's just going to make them more overwhelmed and want to quit school. It's the same thing. So now if at all you are going to have a baby, right, it's a lot of commitment because babies are not easy. They're going to firstly have a huge toll on the body of the woman. Secondly, your sleep schedules will change. Your mood swings will be there. And that baby will obviously, give you a lot of questions like, okay, financially, how do we take care of it? Or, are we ready? This house ready for it? So all of these things are just going to create more pressure rather than help that couple to resolve whatever it is that they have. And many a times when people say this, ki bachcha paida karo. So you're just delaying the divorce. Right? They're not happy with each other. Fine, they have a kid. After the kid is born, they realize that, okay, they're still not compatible with each other. The kid is also adding to more of the, difficult conversations with the partner. So eventually, as the kid grows up, it's not having a very safe environment and eventually it would lead to divorce. So you're just delaying the inevitable.
Or maybe this thought is also stemming from the fact that if you end up having baby or marriage, then there is no going back, because divorce is not that common in India and is little stigmatized. So maybe it is stemming from the idea that if you have baby, then maybe,
It's like
he
the
won't leave
baby
me.
will be.
The divorce. It's like a security.
Yeah. Many people do that, but after one point, if you are struggling too much, you're not able to give it in, the same baby becomes the reason for you to get out of it. Right? Like, okay, I'm not giving a healthy environment for my kids, so maybe I don't want to be in this relationship, I want to come out of it. So it is a double whammy if you look at it in that sense. But yeah, a lot of people think that if you have a baby, it's more like a security. So you're not going to come out of it. But it's just very unhealthy relationship, right? Like the baby is also not going to form secure relationships. And neither are the parents very happy about it. Like there are so many people who come to therapy who are so afraid of relationships because their parents had a bad relationship. They overthink a lot. They're like, Arey, what if I am like this in my relationship? What if, I express everything and this person reacts the way my father reacts or the way my mother reacts, whatever. So it's just creating a lot of anxiousness and fear on a person who didn't ask for this, just because the previous relationship had to get secured. So it's definitely not a solution. And also coming to the first part of it, wherein you said that, okay, if you're not really happy with the person, you go get married to that person. What are you doing? If you're not happy in the first place, then marrying them is like 24/7, you see them as well. If not, okay, you're going to work, but end of the day, you come back to them, and if you cannot tolerate them and stand them, you're just signing up for a lot of misery, sadness, torture to yourself. So what's the point?
But let's just say that there is a couple who is having a long distance relationship, and in this case they're having a lot of fights because communication is not happening very well and the distance is troubling them. So in this case, if they were to decide to get married, maybe things will get fixed, no?
Very interesting question, but it depends. Like, is the relationship started off in long distance, or is it like they were together for some time in a same city and then they moved to long distance? Because it's a big risk that you're taking, right? Like, okay, you might be fighting, but end of the day, you might be having similar kind of patterned fight, be it whether we are in the same room or whether we are living far away. So if the fight in long distance is like, okay, you're not giving me time. So what's the guarantee that when you get married, the same fight is not going to happen?
That is there, but then as I said, communication might improve, so things will feel better.
See, that is maybe like 15 to 20% it can improve.
Okay.
But then if the person's value system, if they are created a certain way, the personality is certain way, even physical closeness or distance won't make a big difference. But yes, like maybe they can try to be in the same city for some time and see if their fights are reducing, then take the call of marriage, because that is an experiment that you can do before you rush into something.
Correct.
Also, the question that Prarthana had about maybe getting married would solve communication issues in long distance relationship. It can be looked in different perspective as well. Like, maybe if they are living together, the heat of the conversation may build up more, and it may lead to other consequences like raising hands. So there's always like probability of getting better and getting more worse.
True. Like, see, I agree with one of the points of Prarthana is that when you are close in the same room, of course your conversations are better, you are more patient and all of those things. But end of the day, fights will happen irrespective of whether you stay in the same roof or not. Right? So the decision of marriage, it depends. Like, if you like that person and you want to be with that person, great, go ahead with marriage. And these are two different things. If you look at the question that she asked, versus the conflict is part of every relationship. That's common. Correct. Right? So now you live together also, you'll have more conflicts, like how she said. It'll be like, okay, long distance was only better, or in screen at least you were nicer, here you're so mean. So those things are very common. But that's, if you're in a romantic relationship, then it's okay. Like, you chose that person for a reason. Right? And now if at all you're not liking each other, then yes, you might decide to end the relationship as well.
So I've heard this thing that when you are in love with someone, that is not supposed to hurt you. Love is something which is very easy. It should make you feel safe and nice, and it shouldn't hurt you or make you feel bad about anything. Is that true, or is it just
partially true? So in love, you should feel safe for sure, and feel that respected and all of those things. But hurt, maybe not. I mean, you will feel hurt because you're from two different worlds, and there might be certain things that you do that the other person doesn't understand and can translate it to hurt. Right?
Okay.
So that is inevitable, unfortunately, in any relationships. You might be the nicest of the nicest person, but maybe you do something and that other person is in a bad mood and they read it in a different way. So that's very common. But the safety part, the trust part, that is very important in any relationship. Because if you don't feel safe and you're always afraid of the person, then you won't be vulnerable. And vulnerability is the key thing that brings you closer with the other person. Now, if you're not able to be vulnerable, what will you think? Okay, no, probably this is not the right person, and you will leave that relationship.
Correct.
Right? So that trust and that safety is important. Hurt, it will happen, unfortunately. I mean, knowingly or unknowingly.
So what I would like to also ask is, despite the hurt, is it a good decision to stay or no? Or is it like once you are hurt, you walk away? And is that a good decision to walk away, or are you supposed to stay and fix things?
Do you trust
What
the
is-
person? Do you feel safe with the person? So sometimes, what happens, if somebody is being very honest with you, of course you're going to feel hurt,
Yes.
right? But it's also how the person says it to you. Do they character assassinate you? Or do they tell it to you in kindness that, hey Pratana, maybe this is not right?
Yeah.
Versus if they say, Pratana, you're always like this. Why are you always like this? You're so problematic. You shouldn't be like this. This is more like a personal attack to that person, right?
Correct,
And if you feel like, okay, why are they telling this to me? And you're not feeling very comfortable and safe to make mistakes around that person, then yes, maybe you walk away. But sometimes you might feel hurt and there is some reason behind why they're saying something. If you clarify it, maybe you'll understand. Right? So that is okay. If you leave at every moment you get hurt, then no relationship will be completely satisfying or happy for you. Because hurt is
Inevitable.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes it's not always the other person. Sometimes it's us also that trying to overanalyze things, trying to overread the things, and you tend to point out small things, or maybe
So what I was saying was, see, when a person is close to you, right? So you're vulnerable with them. So they know a lot of things about you. So they can also hurt you.
Yeah, that as well. And sometimes we just tend to get hurt from the smallest actions that they do because
Yeah,
that
like you
matters
said,
a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Oh, you overread it. You
Yeah,
overanalyze it.
overanalyze the things,
Yeah.
and then you tend to get hurt even if there is nothing
But
much.
for that, we can always repair. Like if at all you're reading into some behavior, like maybe they're always late, and that's really hurting you, right? Maybe you can ask them okay, see, listen, why are you late? Is there any particular reason that you become late? Because it is bothering me a bit. And then you hear them out. Like maybe sometimes they don't realize time. Some people don't realize time, right? And they are not doing it intentionally to hurt you. And then once you get to know that, it won't affect you that much. So it's more about the conversation and how you repair things between the two of you.
So whenever we have conversation with our friends, we very often listen to the phrases like, if not him, someone else will. So it also makes me feel like, is it very easy to replace people? And is this idea of if not him, someone else will, is healthy?
That's I think a lot of Gen Z related problem right now,
Yeah.
because the thing is we are having so many choices. We're overloaded with choices, right? So now if I give you a menu which has 100 dosa items, obviously you're going to get confused. Like, which dosa do I choose? Right? Even if I give you 5 things, you're I don't know what to choose.
Very true.
Right? So now in dating world, you have infinite choices. Right? So you're always if this person doesn't work out, I'm going to choose the other person. It's fine. But end of the day, are you happy? Are you satisfied with constantly changing people? You're not. Right? So this the one concept is then, no? That's all just very good for movies and TV shows. The one is somebody that you create. Right? Now you're liking somebody, you go out on a date, you of course find some quirks, but then you're still wanting to give it a try. then you give it a try, and then maybe after some 10 dates you realize that okay, you guys connect well and you want to really start to be exclusively with each other. So that person eventually becomes the one. You create it. It's not something that they just come and you're like, yeah, this is the one. Because that's not possible. Because everybody will challenge you, confuse you, hurt you, or make you question a lot about yourself too. So it depends on which person are you comfortable doing all these things with. So the one is just something, it's very good for movies but doesn't exist in real life. And if you're constantly changing that way, it's also to do with anxiousness. Right? Like, okay, no, I don't want to be with this person. I'm uncomfortable, so I don't want to be. So you never form any lasting relationship with anybody. And if you don't form, you will never know if you can create the one for you. So that's the whole idea behind it. It's like a shield that you use to get out of something.
So in my mind, let's just say I have a set of standards ki this is the kind of guy I want. And if someone does not meet all those standards, maybe meets like 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10, isn't it good for me to move on rather than ask him to change himself, and rather find someone who will meet those standards for me? Isn't it better?
But how long will you do that?
Until I find someone who is like at least meeting 8 out of 10 or
still
10
they
out
don't
of 10.
meet everything, right? So basically what is currently happening is, see, all of these dating apps, right?
Yeah.
To them, they don't really bother much about the connection you make. You're a consumer, end of the day. They want you to come back to the platform and you have to be hooked. And the way you're saying, it's more like you're not finding a connection. It's like a product you're buying.
Okay.
You're seeing the features of the product. You're seeing the warranty of the product. Is there a written policy to this? Is it, whatever, these features, is it something that I want in my life? If it's not, no. Agla product.
It's like ticking off your checklist.
Yeah. So now the one that you said, right, कि 5 things आपको match नहीं हो रहा है.
हाँ, so compatibility नहीं होगा ना, अगर
है.
मेरे standards से meet नहीं कर रहा है तो I should not torture him with okay, these are the things that I want, so you have to meet them. So instead of that,
it's like, see, if you have two different, like I'm married to somebody who's exactly opposite to me.
Okay.
ठीक है? So I get to learn a lot of things that I would have never really thought of. So that's a different exposure that I have. I'm not saying that everybody needs to be comfortable with that.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is, today it can be 5 out of 10. But if you give that connection some time, maybe it will come to 8 out of 10.
That is also there.
अलग बात है, if you're not comfortable with that person, then you किसी और को date करो, that's a different thing. But ये comfort तब आएगा जब you give them
the space and the time.
Yeah. If you were like, oh, you're not tall, you're not that, you're not this, you didn't pull the chair for me, so नहीं, मुझे नहीं चाहिए आप.
Yeah.
Maybe that person doesn't believe in those things. They believe in showing chivalry in a different sense.
Correct. Fair.
So it differs, right? So we need to give time for connection. Otherwise, they're just like products that you buy and you see you don't like and you throw.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
So I think the standard that she's talking about also depends whether these standards are set on the basis of your values or it is set on the basis of Instagram, movies, fairy tales. And a lot of Gen Zs these days consume Instagram reels and oh my god, these are my standards. If they don't tick off these standards, I'm not going to settle down for less.
Correct.
Yeah. So what do you think about this?
Absolutely, you're 100% right. I mean, all of these expectations is being set by others. It's been fed to us, right? We don't even know if this is our expectation or not. If you think about it, maybe it could be you don't want flowers. You want to play PS5, like in her case, right? Or in your case, it could be some intellectual conversation that you want to have. But you're feeling like, okay, if I do all these things, maybe I don't fit into that particular box of a good girlfriend or a good girl. So that's why you're like, okay, no, I like flowers. I like that. I like this. But maybe you don't. So it's important to ask yourself, like, Acha, do you really want such kind of things? Or is it being fed to you and you like somebody else doing it? That's why you want it. Right? So that's very important to ask in these situations.
So a lot of times when you're in relationship or when you're in a budding relationship, we hear things like don't text him too much, don't give him too much attention. If you give him too much attention, then maybe, he will lose interest. And we are holding ourselves to an extent that we stop being ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about that?
I mean, if you stop being yourself, then what's the point of the relationship, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, a lot of people say that ki, okay, only text this much. It's more like a controlling angle again, right? I mean, if you look at it in a very deeper sense, most of the women, they suppress their emotions. They don't really, tell a lot of things, even though they find certain things uncomfortable. They just keep it to themselves, right? Why? Because if they say certain things, then it's going to create a dhamal in the house. And when it creates a dhamal, then what do? How do they get out of that situation? So they suppress. So same ideology is being passed on to the next generation in a different way. It's more like if you text too much, he's going to think that you're too emotional.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let him know that you're emotional, right? If he's okay with it, he'll continue to be with you. If he's not okay with it, then he's probably not even the person that you need to date.
True.
Right? So the more you talk is when the communication builds. We all keep saying, no, communication is important, communication is important. If you curb that part of it in itself, what's the point?
Yeah. And I also feel like this, I would like to term this as mind game somewhere to get the person. And it's not even healthy for a long run because you are not showing some part of yourself to the other person, and the other person end up liking someone who he did not sign up for at all.
Correct. I mean, see, if you playing too hard to get in everything, I mean, what are you trying to gain by doing that? Are you protecting yourself by not, being close to somebody? Or are you trying to show that, if you get to know me, maybe you're going to leave me, so I'm not going to do anything about it. Right? Now, if he gets to know you and he chooses to leave you, it's his choice. End of the day, or her choice, end of the day. But you, like you said, you are dating somebody else only if you're trying to be somebody else. And how long can you fake it? They say fake it till you make it, but not in a relationship. Because end of the day, after you make it together, you will be real, right? So that is a absolutely ridiculous advice that you can give somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like this also stems from a lot of anxiety within yourself. Matlab, when the person doesn't reply, you go triple text, you keep texting and then you keep asking, where are you, what are you doing, why aren't you replying? So that also stems from anxiety, right?
Correct. 100%. So it's more like you're not ready to give them that space. Right? Like maybe somebody is not responding back to you because they're busy, or maybe they're not interested in you, or they don't know how to respond back to emotions because maybe they're not exposed to emotions.
Right.
So there could be multiple reasons behind that. So trying to talk to them again, like maybe after they respond back, call them and tell them ki, listen, I was a little afraid ki, why didn't you respond back? Is there any particular reason? Now if the person doesn't call back, of course you're going to feel anxiousness.
Correct.
So then you know that ki, chalo theek hai, this person and I, we cannot really talk about a lot of things, and this is a topic maybe he doesn't understand. So again, you take a call whether you want to be with this person, you maybe talk it out before you end things, or you want to understand from where is this coming from. So it depends on the context and the relationship that you're in.
So communication is the key.
And also in communication, it's about how you communicate. Not a lot of times people think that okay, communication is I'm communicating, but they're fighting.
Blaming.
Yeah, they're blaming. That's also a type of communication, but end of the day, the repair communication, what we call in Gottman, is more to do with, sitting calmly discussing. The tonality is fine. The words that you use is not blame words. It's more like, okay, this is what I felt. Or we can do this better. It's more of inclusion. It's not about, okay, one person is wrong and the other person is right. It's not like that. So no repair conversation can go in that way. It's always about how can we build this together, or this is what I felt, I want to know what you felt about it. So you're including the person. That's when that is a good communication. It's just saying कि मुझे ये अच्छा लगता है, करना ही है. This is more like a blackmail.
Command.
Yeah. You have
And most
to
of the
do
times
this.
you end up saying sentence like you did this, you did that, rather than saying I felt like.
Yeah. They always, character assassinate a person.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of us have seen while growing up, or that's how we feel should be communicated.
Yeah.
But that just makes that relationship more sour
Yeah.
than bring you closer.
Correct.
Because and it's like whenever anybody blames you, right? Obviously we're going to get defensive. Every human will get defensive and they'll do everything to hurt the other person. Right? So instead of getting our defenses up and not having a real conversation, it's better to keep it down and be not attacking. It's like ceasefire. I'm talking to you, talk to me.
And the anxiousness that Prathana was talking about also stems from fear of abandonment, that a person ends up texting every 5 seconds saying that, hey, where are you? Why are you not replying? And double texting, triple texting, spamming. I think it also stems from fear of abandonment.
Fear of abandonment is one thing, and also the other thing is control. I was talking to you in the first question, right? So anxiousness is more about trying to get everything in a particular way, in an order that you want it to be. But that's not the way world runs, right? So you're trying to control, like, where are you? Why are you not answering? It's like, I want to know an answer immediately right now. That's not the way in which everybody works. So you can say, yes, it's fear of abandonment, but what are we doing to rectify that? In this relationship, are you really feeling abandoned? Is this person a person who is really, like, giving you mixed signs and not, committing to you? So that is also important.
I understand that you're telling if you are feeling secure in a relationship and you're still doing the same things, then maybe it's you who have to work on yourself. But also, this fear of abandonment doesn't come with the existing relationship. It also comes with the history.
Correct. Absolutely.
And experiences that you have had. And you're just scared of having the same experience again. So you end up being anxious and you end up asking questions like these.
You're right. It's mostly to do with the past. But I always say this to my clients. So your past is your 50%, right? The remaining 50% is your present and your future. We can't hold everything to the past. We can learn a lot from the past. There'll be some signs of abandonment, right? So it could be your father figure or a mother figure. So whenever you want them, you've explicitly told them, but they've never come. Or, they come on some days and on some days they're not there, right? So those are some signs. Now, do you see these signs in this person, in the relationships that you're with? And have you communicated that to them? If you've done all of those things and still they're doing something like this, then okay, I'm signing up for the same thing again. But if they're not, maybe one off time, they're a human being end of the day, maybe one off time they do not come to one of your events. You made a big deal about it. You're like, how can you not come to the event and everything? And next time they made sure they were there. So that's an improvement. That's a good sign. Right? So they're not really abandoning you. So we cannot hold the, tag that, okay, this happened to me in my past. Yes, it's a very sad thing that it happened to you in the past, but at present, you can always learn from it. So that's what we say in therapy as well. Like, you have awareness, super. Now, change it.
Work on it.
Yeah. More than working on it, if this is a pattern that you're seeing, then maybe if you feel ki I don't want this pattern again, take it. You communicate, you try to build it. If it is not happening, फिर निकलो. अगर हो रहा है, progress हो रहा है, तो then great. It's amazing.
So in short, this whole, don't text him, he will lose interest is nothing. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Because if you do text, the person will know that, okay, maybe, there are abandonment issues which are underlying here, and that will help them understand you more.
Yeah.
Or if they can't keep up with it, then they will tell you clearly. So in a way, it is good.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something I've heard a lot about compatibility with your partner. I've heard ki compatibility works perfectly when both of you have the same choices and the same opinions on things. So if you, for example, don't like something and your partner likes it, so the compatibility goes down there. Is it true, or is it like, I've also heard opposites attract, but I don't know what to believe in. So if you can just help me.
I mean, it's more like, see, compatibility, the definition of it is different for different people, right? So for some, it could be कि चलो हम दोनों को एक ही movies पसंद होना चाहिए, and then we can have something to talk about.
Okay.
But yes, it is fun. You have a lot of, good conversations. But again, end of the day, it's more like, okay, do you feel safe with this person? Are you able to be vulnerable with this person? So sometimes you might have very different opinions about movies or life, but your values are the same. Suppose both of you value ki, okay, I respect each other's career and I want both of us to, flourish in the career. So that's a value system and you agree with it. Now, hypothetically, if a person and you share a very good bond about movies or about similar topics, but in your value system, you're very different. Like maybe the other person feels like, okay, career is not important, and you feel career is important, but you both are able to talk about a lot of fun things. So it's about what is your preference, basically, like in which place you want to have the same compatibility. Is it the values, is it the respect, is it the family culture, what is it?
So it is the parameters of compatibility that matter.
Yes.
Matlab, if my parameter of compatibility is, let's say, food choices, example being vegetarian or being non-vegetarian, and if the person is the opposite of what I am, so we are not compatible because that is my parameter of compatibility.
But the thing about compatibility is we are oversimplifying it.
Okay.
There are a lot of things. It's like when you are buying a car.
Yes.
Right? You see a lot of features. You see what engine is it, which brand is it, what is the mileage. So it's exactly like that.
Okay.
So maybe food choices are not very similar. Okay? But maybe you both like traveling. Or you both like exploring new things. Or one of you might be introvert and one of you might be extroverted. One of you might be very like social and like you want to go out often, and the other person can be like, okay, I'm very neutral about it. So it's like a lot of different parameters. Maybe some of the ones that are very important to you, if it matches, great. But if everything doesn't match, but maybe one important thing of yours matches.
Yeah.
Right? That is a good relationship. So it depends on which parameters is more important to you. So is food important factor to you and it has to match? Fine. That's okay. But there are so many other things as well that should, connect with each other.
So it is very subjective. The idea of compatibility is how I perceive compatibility and not the generalized idea of it.
Otherwise it's like, okay, you like everything, fine, then naya kya hai?
Fair, you don't get a space to explore new things or experiment.
Or you're not exposed to the other side. Maybe you don't have awareness to the other side at all because you were never exposed to it. So like I said, my partner and I, we are opposites. So now I have the ability to see so many things which is probably not something that I resonate to.
Okay.
But I'm able to see the other things, and in that some of the things I'm like, okay, I also like this. So it gives you new exposure. It gives you new experiences and exposure, end of the day.
But what if a person is not comfortable and they like to stay in their comfort zone and उनको सब चीज़ same चाहिए? So again, that is their parameter of compatibility, right?
मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना, हर चीज़ हम जुड़वों में भी बहुत अलग होता है.
Correct.
Right? One twin is different from the other twin.
Yes.
So it's not possible that you find a person like everything to be matching. Now if everything matches, okay, the first date is super fun, the second date is super fun, then what are you going to talk about? At the end of the day, I'm thinking, you're thinking the same thing. Conversation ही क्या point है?
Fair.
Right? So it's about, like again, like I said, the car features में कुछ चीज़ें you might like, some things are add-ons and you're like, ठीक है रहने दो. It's more like that. Some things you don't like but you want the car, so you're like, ठीक है. So it's more like that. So even with your compatibility, it's like a whole range of things. Few things which is important, it matches, it clicks.
Got it.
And sometimes, this entire thing is very funny because every year you as a person grow. So your parameters also keeps changing. Maybe
Correct.
when you are young, it could be more like we should spend a lot of time together. End of the day, yes, you do want to spend a lot of time together. But as you grow up, you might be like, no, I want our financial goals to be same. Or I want us to travel to a certain place together. It's same. Like you want to be together, you want to spend time, but it keeps varying.
Fair enough.
And maybe
makes
in
sense.
that financial thing, you might be different. You're like, oh, अच्छा तुम्हें उड़ाना अच्छा लगता है, मुझे सेव करना अच्छा लगता है, ठीक है आप क्या करें, ठीक है middle ground लेते हैं, क्या it's more like that. So every year it changes, the parameters also keeps changing.
So I think compatibility also depends on how much each person is willing to, compromise from their side and find a middle ground.
That's more like when you've committed to the person and you want to find the middle ground. But
Okay.
again, it's more like how much you're okay to be with the other person. Now say if the person is a foodie,
Yeah.
but they like Italian food, they don't like
Yeah.
Indian food, will
Yeah.
you be with them?
Me personally, I don't know, maybe I don't think that matters. It does not matter to me.
Doesn't matter,
Yeah,
right?
their food choice, it does not matter.
Correct. So I hope So this was a very fun discussion because it makes you think in a different sense and ki, acha, these are the kind of questions also people can have. So I had a lot of fun. What about you guys?
Even we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of insights about what are the myths and what actually matters, what are the parameters that you have to look into to get into a healthier relationship. Yeah, it was insightful and both fun.
Thank you.
There are quite a lot of things that I realized today, and maybe I will apply them into my life also. As in, the compatibility factor, and love is not supposed to hurt, and texting them can, make them lose interest. So don't text too much. That is something my friends have told me. Ki, don't text itna, it's okay. Don't keep texting, or he will lose interest. But I think that gives you a better insight into the
Correct.
person's personality. So yeah, got a lot of takeaways and obviously had a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you for this. Can't wait for the next episode.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
See
you.
you in the next episode.